In this video, we'll see how you can create your own AI voice assistant and install it on your website or application in less than 10 minutes. We'll be using Sista AI, the first plug-and-play AI integration platform, which offers a very powerful AI assistant capable of answering any questions but also controlling the user interface. So you can navigate, you can scroll, you can do whatever you want with just your voice. Now, let's test it out. Hey, can you summarize this page for me in one sentence?
This page highlights Sista AI, a cutting-edge voice assistant that integrates easily into applications and websites to enhance user interaction through voice commands.
Okay, now let's see how it can control the user interface. Hey, can you scroll back to the top of the page and turn on the light? And as you can see now, I tried to ask it for two things. And there we go. Now let's jump into the installation steps. I'm going to turn this back to dark, and there we go. So the only thing we need to do is first sign up to create our own custom assistant, and this is quite easy. And second of all, just inject this AI button into your website or application, which is even easier. So let's get started. When you first sign up, what you'll see is that you receive $10 in free credits to start trying this product. And by default, the platform already provided you with the first AI assistant to start testing. So let's go to the playground and try it out. Once we're satisfied, we can inject it into our website. And that's about it. So let's go. And before we test it, let's give it a name. For example, let's say your name is Jack. Hey, what is your name?
You can call me Jack. I'm your friendly voice assistant, ready to help you with anything you need. What's on your mind today?
Alright, well, that doesn't sound like a Jack, so let's change the voice and maybe use this name and make the response a little bit shorter. And let's change a few other things. I mean, first I'm gonna change the name to John, and I'm gonna give it some main objective. Let's say this is an e-commerce website and we sell potato, so that's it. Now everything actually is optional, but let's assume we want to add a custom prompt to say, tell me a joke at the end of each answer. Why not? So let's try it. Hey, what is your name and what do you do?
I'm John, your friendly voice assistant. My specialty is helping you with e-commerce, especially when it comes to buying some delicious potatoes. How can I help you today? By the way, why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
Well, that's a silly joke, but we get the idea. Now, if you want to control how your users interact with this on your website, you can also set some limits in addition to controlling how much this assistant can spend throughout the months. These are nice features in addition to the ability to top up your account with as much as you need. You can go as low as $5, and then every interaction costs 1 cent for now. They come with this very powerful analytics which tells you how many times user interact with it, when, what type of commands, and if you have multiple assistants, you can also see information about each one. Same thing about the cost, and you can also see the conversations with all your users and what was the response from the AI. So that's it regarding step one, creating your assistant. Now let's see how we can install it on your application. First, you need to choose what framework or technology you use to build your tool. In that case, let's assume it's React. So we go to the documentation, and you can of course choose anything else, Android, iOS, and any other framework you want. It's always the same three easy steps. First, you need to install the package or the library, and then you need to pass in your API key, and lastly, you need to inject this powerful button. This is all you have to do. Now, regarding the key, if you go back to the admin dashboard, you can see that your key is right there. When you create a new assistant, you're gonna get a new key. So since this is React, you just need to wrap your application in this provider, pass the key, and like I said, you just inject this button, and at this point you can start talking with your assistant. Now, this is one of the features. The second and most powerful feature is the ability to control your user interface. Now let's see how easy that is. Can you take me to where I can create a UI controller? There we go. So this is how we can set it up. The process is quite simple. Let's say we have this function called say hello world. It's quite a simple function. The only thing we need to do is to define an array that contains the following object. The only two important things are the handler, or a reference to the function you need the AI to call, and a simple description explaining what this function does. This is very important for the AI to be aware of that function. So in that case, we tell AI this function greets the user, and that's it. Once this is done, and of course you can register as many functions the same way. Once you're done, you can call this register function to pass in your array, and that's it. Just like that, you already created a very powerful UI controller and kind of added a layer of VoiceUI on top of your application. And as you can see, you don't need to change your code at all. So your function remain exactly the same. You just need to add this section. Of course, there's few other things, but everything is optional really when it comes to configuration and customization of the color and the behavior of everything. If you need to see some example, you can head down to this introduction area where you can see some real-world implementation with some available code to see how other people have done it. I look forward to see how or what you're gonna build with it, and remember you can sign up today and get $50 or up to $50 in free credit. When you sign up, you get the first $10, and then you can request another $40 by the onboarding call. So, best of luck.